Going here, second session of the Office Hours Livecast, and today we're going to be talking about ways that you can be able to utilize so you can not only be able to get more study in or study more effectively, but also on the flip side, not spend that much time. And a lot of the issues that many students go through is that they feel like, well, if I study, I'm not going to be able to enjoy college, or I'm not going to be able to have other time to do different things. So that's what we're going to be jumping in specifically today. So I'm ready for you. Got my laptop right here, and making sure that I stay on point with everything, because with only 30 minutes, just doing this each week, I have to get directly to the point, but also make sure that you understand with a concept that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about throughout this live cast, which is a great strategy that one of my mentors, Gary Vaynerchuk, says a lot. He says it's two ways you got to be able to approach things. You got to approach it from a clouds and dirt perspective. And what that means is the clouds is you got to think big picture, you got to think strategic for whatever you're doing, but then the dirt is also what are the practical daily things you need to be doing in order to help yourself be successful. So in whatever part of college, or really just in life that you want to be. So that is sort of how I try to operate, and that's the way I'm going to communicate it to you, because that's what I've found, that the most effective people who do things in this world and in college, straight A students, and people actually going through the process and making it happen, is they're looking at it from that type of perspective. So again, if you didn't see if you didn't see last week's live session, I want you to go back after this, obviously, and then watch last week's session, because I gave really more of a bigger intro to what this whole live cast program is about and what you're getting out of it, and then also how you're also making the program better as well. So for those who missed it, just very quickly, there's a weekly session each and every Sunday at 4 o'clock. We're going to be learning about different aspects of college, and I'm going to be training on different topics and just discussing it with you. Not only that, but you're also going to be able to have the ability at the end of each session to ask a question. So that's basically how this is going to work. I'm going to train and then ask your questions at the end. I'm going to try my hardest not to go over 30 minutes, but I just want to make sure you get a few things that's going to refuel you. So by the time you get and you go into next week, you already have your mind ready, your mindset. And it's going to be, there's a lot of different people that has access and is going to be watching these videos. Everybody from students who are aspiring in order to go into college. So there's going to be some, there'll be some questions and things of that nature as far as students looking to, hey, what do I got to do to get into college? What the college is looking for? So there's going to be those type of questions, but then there's also going to be many questions as well for students that's looking to just handle and get through different parts of the college process, from joining Greek life to this is going to be seniors on here getting ready to graduate. All right, what's the best way that I can transition and get myself into the career that I want to get into, so I don't gotta go back home and sleep on my couch because I lost my room, right? So it's a lot of different things that you could take into account, and there's a range of audience that's watching this and that will be watching this on replay as well. So, and that's another thing too. You have access to this in your members area. So what I'm gonna do is sometime next week, I'm gonna upload this video, and then you'll be able to log into your members area and review this video, right? So let me jump in on what's the best way in order for you to study better, but take less time, but be more effective. So that's what we're looking at. All right, now there's 3 things that, and there's also 2 I want to say. If you stay to the end of this, that throughout these, some sessions I may do it, some sessions I may not do it, but I'll be giving out prizes and things of that nature for people who are joining live, but it'll be sporadically. Keep you on your toes. All right. So what do you have to do in order to optimize studying so you can get more done, spend less time? Well, first and foremost, you want to make sure that that you are getting clear on the goals, right, that you have to do when you complete or when you're about to study or any kind of project that you're about to do, right? So let's say you're home, all right, boom, I know I gotta study, but what's the best way to do it? Many students just sort of jump in, just start doing things because I think this is kind of what I'm supposed to be doing for this class, but I'm not sure, so let me just hand in something. And obviously, you want to make sure that you optimizing it the best way that you can so you can get the best grade that you can when it comes to studying. If you remember my graph, if you saw the video, if you saw any of my work before, then you know my guiding strategy for being for getting through college, passing academically, developing professionally, and enjoying the entire process is a strategy that I call the graduation trifecta blueprint, which deals with the 3 E's. And if you saw last week's video, then you know exactly what those 3 E's are. One is education. Obviously, you got to be able to excel academically. Also is experience. You got to be able to build your resume, get the experience, because no longer can you just get a degree now and be good. You also got to have that experience. And then the last one is expression. What organizations, teams, fraternities, sororities, nonprofit organizations that you're going to be a part of, that's going to be able to help you express yourself and do more things, maybe in the community, maybe fundraisers, maybe forums, maybe parties, whatever interests you the most. So that's really what that encompasses. But specifically, this how to study portion of it is going to fall under the education part of that model, which I break it down into what you need to do inside the classroom or outside the classroom. And obviously studying is things you got to do outside the classroom. So now, in order to make sure that you're optimizing your goals, first, optimizing studying is make sure you get clear on your goals. So first thing, you want to make sure that you understand, and it sounds so simple, and I'm sure you know this, but you want to make sure that you understand what is the goal that you're trying to get. And the best way to do that is to read the instructions. Any teacher that's giving you homework, you need to be clear on the instructions that they're giving you. So that means paying attention while you're in class, or if you got to call somebody to do whatever you need to do, but get clear on whatever the instructions are. Because there's been many times during my undergrad, and even a couple times during my graduate degree, where I would just jump in because I know I got to do something, or I know I got to hurry up, or I got a certain amount of time, or I'm about to go to sleep, so let me hurry up and just bang this out. And that I ended up doing work that I wasn't supposed to be doing. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't sure. I was so sure that I was supposed to do it, but I wasn't really sure on what's the best way to go about doing it and even paying attention. So I don't care if it's math, algebra, where all right, I have to do these set of questions. And it sounds simple, but all right, these are the questions I have to do. Or whether this is some type of essay, or you got to read a certain amount of chapters, right? And then at the end, you got to answer these chapter summary questions. So whatever the case is, make sure you get clear on what you want to do. And then figure out what's the strategy you're going to do it. If it's math questions or whatever the case is, everybody does things differently. So it's going to be hard for me to kind of tell you, hey, do it this way. But I'll give you overall way to think about it. You can start off with figuring out, are you the type of person that likes to answer the hard questions first and then do the easy questions, or do the easy questions first and do the hard? There's no wrong way to do it. If it's what I would recommend, if it's something that you're not really familiar with, or you haven't even been understanding it in class, maybe you could start off doing with some of the easier questions, answer the easier problems first, get yourself some confidence up, and then tackle the hard questions. But the main idea for this whole first point is, when you're studying, know what you got to do. Get clear on what your goal is and what you have to accomplish. It's going to make things a whole lot easier for you, because now you don't have to backtrack. You don't have to say, oh, I did this by accident. You're going to make things go a lot smoother for yourself. Second thing you want to make sure that you do is remove all distractions. I mean, I need you to get laser focused. You need to be like this when it comes to studying. You get what I'm saying? And getting focused is one of the hardest things to do when it comes to studying, because now in the technological world, everything is beeping and buzzing, and you got everybody walking by you. You might be the type of person who, you like to study If you study in your house, you might have roommates around you, right? That's distracting you. You might have, depending on what part of your life in, you might have kids now. So, you got kids coming in and out the room bothering you, or distracting you. Or you might be in a lab, you like to do your work on campus inside the lab, and you got people walking behind you. Now that's just dealing with the people that's in your vicinity. We still not talking about text messages coming in. We still not talking about emails coming in. We still got Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram and all of those things that's around you and surrounded by you, that it's easy to take away 30 seconds here, 2 minutes there, 5 minutes there. Let me go on Facebook, see what they're talking about real quick. And you think that you're giving yourself a mental break, but what you're really doing is you're just spending more time. You're not giving yourself any kind of break, any kind of renewal or anything. It's just more time being spent to where you could have been laser focused and you could have got this project done in 30 minutes. But now it took you 2-3 hours to do it, because you stopped for every person who walked by you. It's like, yo, what's good? What up? Every person who's by you, you was talking to them. You engaged in a 5-10 minute conversation. Somebody who called your phone. Now you got in a conversation about that. Somebody commented on the status. So it's a lot of distractions that can happen. And one of the best things that you can do for yourself, and I still do this today because I'm still studying today. Just because I'm graduated, got my bachelor's and master's degree, doesn't mean that the studying is done. For my career, right, cybersecurity, is very important that we are that in this field that you have certifications. So I have to make sure that I'm studying for my certifications, and these certifications cost money, like $500. If you fail this test, this exam, not only can you not immediately take it again, but you also have to repay that $500 every time. So, and they might make you wait 30, 60, 90 days before you can even take the exam again and get certified. So, so these are things that I'm still doing. I'm working through myself, and it's definitely something that you want to make sure that you're staying on top of. All right, so removing distractions is huge. So what does that look like on a practical daily basis? Well, that looks like you making sure, first of all, where you're going to study at. The best places to study are places where that is designated for studying. All right, that means that it's not really a good idea to be studying in your bed. We all know what happens. You lay in your bed, your mind is already thinking about sleeping, because that's the place where you do that. Maybe your kitchen table, but that's a place for eating. So, it's really hard to do that. You might start looking at the fridge. It's kind of hard. In your living room, yeah, I guess you could do in your living room, and but it's good if you have a designated place where it's like, all right, this is where I'm gonna study. Maybe you have like a little section that you just focus on studying, or maybe you do go to a private room in a library, or just somewhere that's designated for it, is what I found to be the best. Second, make sure turn off your phone, airplane mode, everything. If you want a lab, take your headphones out like this. You don't have to be listening to anything. I've done this plenty of times where you have your headphones in your ear, and then you just doing your work. And if you see somebody just start bopping your head like you jamming. You don't gotta listen to nothing. I mean, it sounds weird, but it is what it is. You want to get your work done, right? So you can boom, and then just get back to your work. Do what you need to do, which is the most important thing in handling. All right, so we got those two things down, with you just being clear on what you need to accomplish in your goal, and you removing distraction. You already a majority of the way there of making sure that you're studying the most effectively. All right, because think about it. If you spending less time being distracted, something that could have took 30 minutes, but it usually takes 3 hours. Imagine you saved yourself 2.5 hours. What could you do with 2.5 hours? Maybe now you could go out. Maybe now you can, play with your kids about this time. Maybe you can. It's a bunch of things that you can do, getting your time back, just by making sure that you know what you're doing. So you're lowering the rate of mistakes that you're making, but then also make sure that you're staying focused, keeping everything out. So those are the two things. Last thing I'll give you for today and for the session is to make sure that you get help. Get any kind of help, get any kind of assistance. For all those who ever saw whoever seen Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Listen, get your lifelines on the phone. Whatever you got to do in order to make sure that you're getting the best out of the work that you're doing. So every time you get homework, you're not always going to know everything. I mean, that's obvious. But in order to make sure that you're not just putting anything down just so you could say, all right, I did my homework. Call somebody if you need to. Call somebody. You or everybody know that every class is always like this. There's always a few smart people, right? So make sure that you have their phone number, because at the end of the day, if you want to get a good grade and it's something that you don't understand, it's best that you have a couple people's phone numbers in your class that you can hit up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not understanding this problem. Hey, what are we supposed to do here again? You know, hey, you mind if we met up for a couple minutes so you can kind of show me how to work out this math problem? And, you know, it seems like it may be taking more time, but at the end of the day, you're going to get better grades by doing that. So call a friend, you know, have some type of lifeline. I mean, it's okay. Sometimes it's good. You know, you want to do things by yourself, and we all feel like we have to be self-reliant when it comes to when it comes to getting help. You know, sometimes we're afraid, like, you know, I might feel people may be looking at me as incompetent. You know, I don't want people to just think I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I can't figure this out. But sometimes you really just have to humble yourself and say, you know what, I don't really get this. You know, you might have been to the office hour, you know, your advisor or your professor's office hours, and like you still sort of not getting it. Everybody, students in your class, they understand what you're going through, because all students go through the same thing. All right, there's been times where in my class that I've understood certain things better, and students then called me up. We got together, and I didn't feel any type of way about helping them. I didn't think about them less. It's just something that they didn't understand. And there's been plenty of times where I didn't understand something and I had to reach out for help, whether it's a mentor, whether it's somebody from the class, whether it's seeing, oh, the teacher's office hours are still open, so let me see if I can get in there and ask a few questions. Whether it was a TA, it was it's something that you really need to take advantage of if you want to optimize the way that you study, get better results, and be able to spend less time doing it. All right, so just a recap of those three things, the practicality of it, I hope you really got it. It'll be really good to take notes on these sessions too, because you'll actually find yourself getting better. You'll be like, man, I'm getting better grades. I don't know why. It's because now you're doing things that are different than what you didn't do before. So the first one is making sure that you get clear on the goal. What do you need to accomplish in this assignment? Make sure you follow that, and don't overcomplicate it. Sometimes we have a tendency of overcomplicating things because, you know, we feel like it just can't be this simple. So just keep it simple. All right. Second is make sure you're removing all distractions. Prepare, plan. If you watch anything I have, then you know I talk about this concept of chess, not checkers. Chess is you being more strategic, you thinking ahead, you anticipating the problems. Checkers is I don't feel like doing this today, so I'm not gonna do it. I don't feel like, you know, I don't feel like going to class on time today, so I'm just not gonna do it. I don't feel like, you know, I mean, it sounds good, Terrell, but you know what? I like to listen to music. You know, I like to have people around me. So all I'm saying is that you have to make sure that you're focused on what you need to accomplish, because you'll take a lot more time doing those other things. And then the last thing is to just make sure you reach out for help. Never have too much pride to where you can't get help, because at the end of the day, you'll have your pride intact, right? You'll have your ego, but your grades will be low. And that is what it is at the end of the day. All right. So for everybody watching this, I appreciate you. You know, this is something that, you know, right now that I'm getting started up. It's a new program. You know, I am coming into really this industry as a new teacher, as a new mentor. So, you know, as more people start to find out about me, as more people start to learn about what I have going on, there's going to be more people that's joining live. There's going to be more people that's here asking me questions, and there's going to be, you know, I'm going to be going out speaking more, and I'm going to document this whole thing for you, because you have a chance. You're seeing this right now. live, where this is really ground zero. This is ground zero to where, I'm going to be impacting many students. My goal and my hope is millions, all right? But it's not going to be right now. It's not going to be soon. But hey, I'm willing to wait another 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, to be able to make that type of impact, because I'm in this for the long haul. And whatever kind of, career that you're getting in, if it's something that you really enjoy, something that you really want to do, be in it for the long term. Everybody wants everything quick, but patience is really the key. So, I can tell you one thing, I'm always going to be helping people. You can see me and you can put me on record for the next 20, 25 years. And plus and beyond, I'm always going to be helping other people. I'm always going to be, learning. You're always going to hear me talking about this concept of success and helping people. And as technology grow, I'm going to be utilizing technology and being in the cybersecurity field. In what kind of way, I don't know. Probably not working like a 9 to 5, but we'll see. But as far as me utilizing the cybersecurity aspect, so I don't know. Maybe I'll mix and mingle them, but I'm always going to be here learning. I'm always going to be here teaching, making sure students get through school, making sure people are learning, making sure people are becoming successful in doing the things that they want to do in life. All right. So if you're just joining, make sure that you not only watch this video, all right, do the replay depending on what point in time that you came in here, right? So, and make sure that you watch last week's video as well. Last thing, if you have any questions, make sure you email them to me. What I'm going to do is, after this is done, I'm going to send out an email. And this email is going to list, what you think about the, as far as any kind of feedback that you have. It could be anything from, hey, it's confusing to do this, to, it can be, I don't know, anything, because I'm always want to be making this program better for you. All right, so our time is up. I don't want to hold you for too long, but continue to grind, continue to stay focused. I'm here. Ask me any questions. Also, if you're not following me on social media, make sure you follow me. I'm usually on Instagram and Facebook heavy, so you can follow me there. I got a new Instagram now, which is Terrell Jones, TERRELL Jones _. So that's where you can find me that on there. And then as far as Facebook go, check me out at WIN College. All right, and then you'll be able to find me there as well. All right. So until next time, continue to grind, continue to stay focused. All right, and I will see you all soon. All right. Comment, ask me any questions later.